Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie, and on my channel we talk about books. So let's just get right into it. This video is one that I have been waiting for like 2 years, and I'm sure you already know by the title, but this is my House of Flame and Shadow reading vlog. I'm so excited for this video, so excited for this book. I am just like over the moon excited. I literally cannot wait. So Sarah J Maas is my favorite author. I have a hard time saying that because she is very overhyped, and I am very aware of how overhyped she is. I started reading Sarah's books back in 2019 and fell in love with the ACOTAR series. And then I actually read Crescent City before I read Throne of Glass, and I loved Crescent City. And then I read Throne of Glass, and I'm fully obsessed with Throne of Glass. Like, Throne of Glass is top tier. And so yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love her work, I love her characters, and I literally cannot wait for this new book. The video is going to be like my in real time spoilery thoughts. It'll have spoilery thoughts of probably the whole Maasverse, so if you don't want to be spoiled on any of the books, don't watch. If you've read them, if you don't care to be spoiled, anything like that, feel free to watch. So, that being said, I am going to start this video off with a bit of a reread of House of Sky and Breath. I have started it. I'm listening to the audiobook, and I don't actually know how far into it I am. I'm of like 4 hours or something like that into the audiobook. Today is Monday the 29th, I think. And the book technically comes out tomorrow. However, my Barnes & Noble is doing a midnight release party, and I'm going. So it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be a little rough because I do have to work today and tomorrow, so I'm just gonna be like exhausted tomorrow. But I don't even care. I'm so excited about this book that I just like, I don't care. So I'll probably take you guys along to the midnight release party a little bit. And then after that, the video will be a lot more like House of Sky and Breath, or House of Flame and Shadow. But today and this like beginning section of the vlog is just going to be just rereading this book, because I do need to finish this before I read the new one, because I don't remember some of the like details. I obviously remember how it ends, I remember like what happens, but there's a lot of like little details that I don't remember. I guess it's been about a week ago I finished House of Earth and Blood. I did go on vacation, and so I stopped reading this book, but it's time to get back to this. So the goal today is to finish. I'm not going to finish this today. The goal is to get a pretty good chunk of the way through this so that I can finish it tomorrow, so that I can start this is going to be a struggle. So that I can start House of Flame and Shadow tomorrow, ideally. I'm not reading anything else physically right now. I pushed through Prior of the Orange Tree so that I could be like clear slate to start House of Flame and Shadow tomorrow. So that's the goal. I do have one other audiobook that I am listening to that I'm not really going to include in this video, but I have about like an hour, 2 hours left of the audiobook. So I'm going to finish those first this morning because I just want to like get that book out of the way. And then once that book is out of the way, then it's going to be all about Sky and Breath, and then it's going to be all about Flame and Shadow. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm so excited. I'm literally like kicking my feet screaming about this book because I'm obsessed with the series. I forgot how much I love the characters in this series, and I'm so excited. Plus I'm so excited about, you know, how Sky and Breath ended. I'm excited about what's gonna come in that. So yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling and I'm gonna get to listen to this audiobook. But I am very excited. It's gonna be a very good time, and I literally cannot wait. Hello. I want to give a bit of an update before I leave. So, I did get successfully through a pretty good chunk of House of Sky and Breath today. I have about 7 hours left of the audiobook, which I can absolutely finish between tonight and tomorrow, so that I can start House of Flame and Shadow tomorrow, which I am so excited about. I won't start it until I finish Sky and Breath, like my reread, just because I want to be renewed on everything that happened in that book because I did read it when it came out 2 years ago, and this is the first time I've reread it, so it's been a while. But I'm so excited and I am really enjoying it so far. I loved it the first time I read it. I'm loving it still. I think that these characters are just amazing. I still will say that I think that Throne of Glass is still my favorite Sarah J Maas series. My TV is also like doing like the buffering thing. Not buffering. It's doing this because it's been paused for too long. So if you see like the colors changing, that's why. And if you can hear the cat eating in the background, she's eating, so also that's why. But, like I said, so Throne of Glass is my favorite Sarah J Maas series. I think that ACOTAR is my least... I think that ACOTAR is my least favorite, but I still am obsessed with it, if that makes sense. So, like, all three of them are top tier, but it goes Throne of Glass, Crescent City, and then ACOTAR. And so this reread has been really fun for me, and these characters just need to be protected, and I think they're gonna go through it, and I'm really, really, really scared. Especially because we all know how the ending of Sky and Breath is, and I'm not looking forward to reliving that in this reread, but I'm also like super looking forward to it, so yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good time though. I'm really excited. I have decided that I am going to take you guys with me to the midnight release party. There is a costume contest that I was not aware of, so I didn't plan anything. So I'm just going to wear my Terracin sweater and just chill and be cozy. They also, I messaged the Barnes & Noble, like my local Barnes & Noble's Instagram account because I want to make sure that the cafe is going to be open because I am old and staying up till midnight on a work night is a lot of mental capacity for me. So I'm gonna have to have some caffeine while we're there as well. But I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be such a good time. Oh, I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. I keep seeing like pictures of it on Instagram and I'm just like screaming right now because I literally can't believe that I'm gonna have this book in my hands in 4 hours. It's 8 o'clock right now. So I think what I'm going to do is get maybe like my iPad and play like Minecraft, something super mindless that I can do while I listen to my audiobook, because I can't just sit here and listen to my audiobook and not do anything because I have to have something to do with my hands. So I think that that's my plan, is to, I don't know, do something and listen to my audiobook for a couple hours. I'm planning on leaving here at around like 9:30, so I have about an hour and a half. I'm also gonna get ready a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and then I will probably update you maybe right before I leave in the car or when I get there, and then we'll go from there. But I'm so excited. My excitement is unmatched right now.
Bubby, hi. Are you ready for House of Flame and Shadow? Are you excited? Yeah?
Okay, I didn't grab my tripod, so you're kind of at a weird angle. But I'm about to leave and I wanted to show off my clothes. So this is my Terracin sweatshirt, and then I'm just wearing jeans, and then I also have these green Skechers to go with it. So I'm very excited, and I'm gonna leave probably within like the next 10-ish minutes, and then I'll listen to my audiobook in the car. I got another like pretty significant chunk of the way through Sky and Breath. I bumped up the speed to 2.5. For some reason, some narrators I can listen to really quickly, and then some of them I can't. And the narrator for the Crescent City series, I can. So I'm listening to it really fast, but I'm picking it all up. And I mean, I've already read it, so I know what's happening. I'm out of breath. But yeah, that's kind of the update. I'm going to probably give you some B-roll. Probably won't talk to you when I'm there, but I'll probably give you some B-roll of like the happening and then my excitement when I get the book. So yeah, it's gonna be fantastic and I cannot wait. So I'll talk to you guys in a while. Hi. It's dark. I have the heater on. There's lots of bad quality things right now, but I got it and I'm so excited. I literally don't think I've been this excited to get a book in ever, maybe. So I'm like really excited about this, and it's a freaking tome. Like, this book is huge. But it is 12:30 and I'm exhausted, so I'm going to listen to House of Sky and Breath, and I'm going to go home and go to bed, and I will talk to you guys in the morning. Hello, today is Thursday, so it's been a couple of days since I got the book and I haven't updated you. Also, my cats are kind of fighting on the bed. They're playing, so just ignore them if you hear noises and stuff. But I am officially 100 pages into A Court of Flame and Shadow, and I'm so excited and I can't wait to talk to you guys. So I don't think I mentioned before, but this is a spoiler-filled reading vlog, so don't watch past here if you haven't read pretty much everything else that Sarah J. Maas has ever written, because I'm going to be talking about ACOTAR, I'm going to be talking about Throne of Glass, probably. I'm going to be talking about Crescent City, so just take that with what you will. This is going to be a spoiler-filled video. But I'm 100 pages in. So far, I would say not a ton has happened. We got a little bit more insight into Tharian and his like enslavement to the River Queen, which has been interesting so far. I guess from what I understand, he's not actually like a slave, because he kind of sold himself in the last book. So we got this idea that he was like gonna be a slave, but he's not. He's just addicted to her venom, which is basically like a drug, from what I understand. So that's very interesting. And Rune has been disowned by the Autumn King, which I think is going to play out in the prophecy of him being like the last of his line, because he's been disowned, which I'm okay with. Very okay with that. So yes, he's also completely ignoring Lydia. Lydia's trying to talk in his mind and like be there for him, but she's also literally the one torturing him, which I cannot fathom what she's going through right now. I'm sure that that's so hard, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I just read chapter 7, which was really, really good. Chapter 7 is where the Midgard worm is like chasing the creatures that are chasing Bryce and Nesta. And Bryce had the revelation of it being like Midgard, like Midgard, which is where they're from. And that's really cool to see like the combination of the different like worlds in different areas. So I'm excited to see where that's gonna go. Like if there's gonna be more creatures that have been in different worlds that are kind of like sprinkled in that we didn't know about. That'll be really interesting. So I'm 100 pages in. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm going to get my goal is another 50 pages today. I do have book club tonight and it's been a pretty busy week, which is why I've only read 100 pages so far. But I ideally will read another 50 pages today. And then this weekend, I'm hoping to get a pretty good chunk of the way into it. I ideally will get like a few hundred pages into this book. I doubt I'll finish it this weekend, but it would be really nice to be able to get like a pretty good chunk of the way into this. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process right now. I am gonna get to reading some more. I have some time before I have to go back to work, so I'm gonna read on my break, and then I will talk to you guys probably when I'm at least like either like another 100 pages in, or if something really exciting happens. So yeah. Hello, it's been a few days. Long time no see for me, not for you, but we have a lot to talk about. First of all, elephant in the room, it's been a few days. I think the last time I actually talked to you was Friday and today's Thursday, so it's been almost a week. I have had a very nagging headache for like, today I think is day 6. I still have it, but I just was like, okay, I gotta film. I have to make some clips because I've read half of this book and I haven't updated since like the 100-page mark. So I've got like 300 pages to talk about really quick. But that's where I've been, why I haven't been updating more frequently, which I wish I would have been, but you know, you do what you gotta do. So anyways, so I am 438 pages into House of Flame and Shadow. I'm gonna just take my glasses off. Sorry, I can't see, but they're so reflective and it drives me crazy. So anyways, 438 pages. I'm loving it so far. I will say that the first like 300 pages, honestly, all of part 1 is pretty slow. It's good, but it's slow. Like each of the chapters really like, not a lot happens, and it takes a lot of chapters for things to happen. And because there's so many POVs and so many characters, we're flipping between them so quickly that nothing is happening, and it's taking like 10 chapters to see the resolution of something that happened way before. So for example, like the fight with Ethan and Sigrid, I don't know how to say her name, but that fight took forever to like come to fruition. Like there was a chapter where the Viper Queen said that they were gonna fight but didn't know who was gonna fight, and then there was a chapter of Therion preparing Ariana to fight, or Ariadne. I'm not great with like side character names, as you can tell. Anyway, so like there's that chapter, and then there's this chapter of Ethan like getting ready to fight, and then there's the fight, and then there's another chapter with the fight, and in between each of these chapters is other things. So it's just the first half was really, not even the first half, the first 300 pages probably, and like definitely the first part was kind of slow. But I also, like, while it's slow, I also still enjoy it quite a bit, because you just get to be in the characters' heads, and like it's high stakes, but it's not, because nothing's really happening. So you just kind of get to like be with your characters, which I enjoy. So I don't know, it's a give and take of like, is it too much or not enough? I will say Bryce's perspective when she was in Prythian at the prison, not my favorite. I'm hoping that that comes full circle at the end, because she is now back in Midgard, of course. I'm hoping that at the end, somehow that gets tied back together. I really want her to give Truth Teller back to Asriel, because what the fuck was that? Like, I literally highlighted in the book when it happened. I was like, did she really just do that? She stole Truth Teller? And I mean, I understand that it's pivotal for the plot, because there's like the prophecy and whatever, but like, Truth Teller is Asriel's, and Asriel has already been through enough shit that I just don't feel like that was very nice, and I didn't appreciate it, but I understand, so we'll see where it goes. And then I also got a mild spoiler, which is coming up, that I haven't quite gotten to yet. Basically, the spoiler that I got was that there are elements of Throne of Glass without any actual characters around the halfway point. So I'm assuming I'm about 50% exactly right now, so I'm assuming within the next like couple chapters there's going to be some Throne of Glass elements. My expectation is that it's going to be in the Fae Archives, because right now they are on Avalon, and they're getting ready to go into the Cave of Princes and the Fae Archives to figure out how to kill the Asteri, basically, and like get details on Star Sword and Truth Teller and all those things. And then I don't exactly know what Bryce's deal is with the Cave of Princes, but we'll see where that goes. But yeah, so I think that in the archives there's going to be something to do with Throne of Glass, but I'm not really sure what to expect yet. But my cousin texted me about it and she was very excited, so I'm assuming it's going to be good, whatever it is. So we'll see. I'm excited. Right now I don't really know like what to expect going forward. First of all, before we get to that, I would like to mention, I can't believe that Lydia has kids, and I feel so bad for her, and like that whole situation just kind of sucks. And it's really hard because like obviously she's not going to take them away from their parents that raised them, but also like how heartbreaking, especially when she was really forced into it. Like that's just sad, very sad. And then Ace doesn't like her, which is even worse. And I hope that that kind of comes to a resolution before the end of this book as well, or in the next book as well. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. That was just really sad, very sad. And Rune and Lydia's relationship right now is just sad as well. Honestly, I'm not sure about Bryce and Hunt right now either. Like they obviously love each other, but like they've got some shit going on, and I just don't feel like that is good. Like they had an argument because he watched his friends be ripped apart and ripped apart and ripped apart, and she was like alone on Prythian and like going through this shit, and so they were like comparing traumas, which I don't understand or love, and I didn't think that that was really realistic for people who are as in love as Bryce and Hunt are. Because like that's, I don't know, like as somebody in a relationship, you don't compare stuff like that. I don't know, it was weird. And so now there's a tension between Bryce and Hunt, which I don't love, but I will get over, and I think that it'll be resolved before the end of the book, I hope. If not, I will be very upset. But yeah, anyway, so my expectations for the second half of this book, they're gonna go into Avalon, which they are in, but I'm sorry if you can hear Benji in the background. Anyways, they're gonna go into the Fae Archives, they're gonna go into the Cave of Princes, and they're gonna find something like spectacular. And then I don't really know where they're gonna go from there, like if they're gonna go back on the ship or if they're gonna go somewhere else. But I think that this book is going to end with them trying to fight the Asteri somehow, and then I don't know if the Asteri are actually gonna die or not. I kind of hope they do, because fuck the Asteri. But then I don't know, my anticipation is that the ending is gonna be Bryce like bringing Truth Teller back to Azrael. At least that's my hope, because I really want him to keep it. And especially with the next ACOTAR being the next book that's coming out, I don't know, I think it's gonna be about Az, and if he doesn't have Truth Teller, what does that mean? So I'm very emotional about this, as you can tell, but I am really enjoying this book so far. I've tabbed a lot of it. I'm really enjoying it a lot, and my goal today is to get hopefully to like page 500 would be a good starting point for today. Like I said, I've been fighting a headache for the last like week, so I haven't been reading as much as I've been wanting to, but I've been checking along at it as well, so we'll see how much I read. I'll bring you along with me. If I have any thoughts, I'll update you. Hopefully it won't be in another 300 pages, but yeah, things are going good, and I'm just really like enjoying taking my time with this book. I'm also very glad that I scheduled this video to go out like a few weeks after release, because it's giving me time to slowly read it. I have seen, I don't remember if I've already told you this, but I have already seen like, not spoilers, but fan art. I actually did see a spoiler, but I skipped past it so fast that I didn't actually see what it was. I just saw like Crescent City 3 spoiler, and I was like, nope, too early, no thank you. But yeah, that's a story for another day, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go read this. I'm really enjoying it. It's a good time. And I am gonna be really sad when it's over, so yeah. Hello, it's been a few days, and I know in the last clip I said that I was going to try and update you like every couple hundred pages. Yeah, I finished the book. So this is just gonna be us chatting through the second half really of this book and my thoughts, and I'm very excited to get into it, so let's just do that. So when we last left off, Bryce and the gang were getting ready to go into Avalon, and I had theories that didn't really come to fruition, I guess. So I felt like the archives were going to be a bigger part of this book, and they kind of weren't. They weren't as big of a piece of this book as I expected them to be, but that was okay. The Cave of Princes, however, was a huge deal. So they split up into two groups. We had Team Caves and Team Archives. Team Archives was Rune, Lydia, Flynn, and Declan. And then Team Caves was Hunt, Bryce, Baxian, Therian, and Therian's wife. I can't remember what her name was. Sathia, I think, maybe. Anyway, so they all went into the Cave of Princes, and we find out the Cave of Princes is pretty much an exact replica of the prison under the mountain that's not under the mountain in ACOTAR. And so Bryce pretty much knows her way through it. While they are traversing their way through the caves, they run into the Autumn King and the King of Avalon, and they have taken Flynn and Declan captive. And so Bryce pretty much causes a cave-in and gets past them, but leaves Deck and Flynn in their grips. And they make their way down to the bottom of this cave to the sarcophagus of Peleos, I think is how you say his name. Anyways, she figures out how to open that and goes down to the like under cave, I guess, and opens up a semi-portal. It's not really a portal, it's more like in their heads, but it's real, to hell. And they speak to Aiden and Thanatos and Apollyon. I'm not great with the names, so if I'm wrong, I'll put it up here. But Anyways, they go and they speak with them and find out that Hunt is technically kind of a being made from the princes of hell. He was basically a test tube baby, and by that I mean they were trying to find somebody that could power up Bryce's power when whoever Bryce turned out to be came along to be able to save the world, basically. So he has this existential crisis about this, and I was shocked. Totally shocked. Didn't see that coming at all. And yeah, I thought that it was great though. And then basically they figure out that there are 3 pieces of magic, Thea's magic, and she broke up her magic into a piece to go into the Star Sword, a piece to go to Selene, and a piece to go to Helena. And basically all 3 of those pieces of power can be picked up, and Bryce can like take them into herself, and she'd already taken 2 out of the 3 at that point, and so she just had to find the last one. And then they wake up, and the Autumn King and King Morven have taken capture of their friends, and basically are like, hey, we're gonna kill you. So by this point, Rune and Lydia obviously know that there's something going on, and so they rush down to the Cave of Princes, and right before the Autumn King kills Bryce, Rune stabs his sword through the Autumn King's stomach, heart, and then cuts his head off. And then Bryce continues to kill King Morven, and the best line ever was that Bryce said, "I'm the judge, jury, and your motherfucking executioner," and I loved it. That was the best thing ever. Anyway, so then at that point, they leave the Cave of Princes, and Bryce realizes, well, I guess it technically happens in the Cave of Princes. Bryce realizes that this 3rd kernel of power is in the land of Avalon. So she reaches into the land, and because she's queen, she's able to do this, and she frees the land of the power of the grips of the power, and the land flourishes, and so much happens. Like, the castle collapses, they're pushed up out of the Cave of Princes, and it's really cool, and the descriptions were really great in that chapter. I also forgot to mention, while they were in the Cave of Princes, speaking to the princes of hell in their like dreamlight state, they did find out that hell had their armies ready to obey, to open the Northern Rift to let hell into the world to fight the Asteri. I felt like at this point, Ethan and Hypaxia have kind of not been super important into the plot, and so they're basically trying to find Sophie Renast's body so that they can resurrect Sigrid, which I don't know why they would do that in the beginning, because that just sounds like a bad idea. But anyways, they are sailing to Avalon. They get to Avalon right after all this happens and find out that Bryce is now the queen of the Fae. And Bryce is like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to go back. She's like, you need to go back and create a antidote for the parasite in the water so that we can get back to our full power, so that we can beat the Asteri. So then they leave and they go back and they do this. And Bryce is like, or Hunt was like, I promise you, I will give you my lightning to resurrect Sigrid if you need it, basically. So that's kind of the last that we hear about that whole situation, because at this point they're so preoccupied with this antidote that it doesn't matter. So then at this point they all split up, and Bryce and Hunt go to the Northern Rift to open that, and she opens up a portal to Prythian, and upon that she sees Nesta, of course, and she asks for the mask, and Nesta gives her the mask for collateral of her parents. So Bryce sends her parents to Prythian, she gets the mask, closes the portal, opens the portal to hell, and in the process of this they also kill the Harpy, and they also have a moment where Hunt's like about to kill Celestina and decides not to, and then she goes and basically keeps Ephraim occupied for the day. And yeah, that's kind of all that happens up at the Rift. That was a lot with Nesta. I thought that was actually a really fun like opening up the ranch, being like, I promise you I'll bring it back, here's my collateral of my parents. And it's a very like selfish moment for Bryce, which I appreciated, just like her getting a chance to, like, she's going through a lot and she's sacrificing a lot, and she gets a moment to be selfish with her parents. And I just thought that it was really interesting. And then from there we switch back to Ethan and Hypaxia, and they find the antidote, which is great. And Ethan takes it, and all like dominance comes out, and all like suppressed, like, because I think that he was technically like a suppressed alpha, and so all of that goes away, and now he's just this like all powerful wolf. And he also has magic, which wolves don't typically do. This would be a shout out to Throne of Glass. And so then he decides he's gonna go talk to the pack and basically like come clean about what happened with Sigrid. And when he gets there, Sabine kind of loses her shit, and then the Prime comes out, and he's like, Ethan, you're my only heir. When I die, you're gonna become Prime, and sorry, Sabine, but fuck you, basically. And then Sabine kills the Prime. So technically then Ethan becomes a Prime immediately. But upon that, then Sigrid was there, and she did suck the soul out of the Prime. So the Prime just like doesn't have a soul anymore, because Sigrid turned into a Reaper. I don't think that I mentioned that, but she turned into a Reaper. And then Sabine tried to kill Ethan with Danica's sword, and Ethan caught it in his mouth in his wolf form and shattered it. And then he killed Sabine. So Sabine's dead. Surprise. Woo. It took 3 books, but she's finally fucking gone. And now Ethan is the Prime of the Valvaran Wolves, which is kind of sick. At this point, I think he runs back to go talk to Connor. I think that's what happens next. Maybe. Now I read the last part of this really quickly, so some of this is getting a little fuzzy in my head, but I'm pretty sure at this point he goes back to meet with Connor, and the Underking gives him 7 minutes to talk to Connor, and Connor can't speak. So they basically communicate by like mouthing things. Obviously Ethan can talk to Connor, but Connor can't respond. And then when the Underking comes back to tell Ethan to go away, Ethan uses his power and turns him basically into an icicle, and then Hypaxia hits him with something and he shatters, and then Hypaxia becomes the new head of the House of Flame and Shadow. And at this point, she can tell Connor to speak, so Connor speaks, and he tells Ethan that the bullet that he has, that he gives to Ethan, was forged by the souls that were in the bone quarter, and that they're going to fuse their first light into, or second light, I think that's second light, into this bullet, and this bullet's basically going to be like a second light bomb. And so he basically says, tell Bryce to use it well. There might be a slight angle change, but let's continue. So I got up, so I might not be totally right, but I'm pretty sure the last thing that I said was that Connor gave Ethan a bullet to give to Bryce that basically is a bomb with second light, and then he turned into the bomb and like put his second light through. And then at this point we switch over to Rune and Lydia and Bryson Hunt, because Lydia finds out that Baxian has kidnapped her children. And so obviously they're frantic and run into a very dangerous situation. They did call Bryson Hunt on the way and be like, hey, you guys need to get down here now. And then with this all happening, Ethan and Tharian and Hypaxia all kind of know that everybody's making their way towards the Eternal City. Tharian and Ethan are both tasked with taking some of this antidote to their friends, which lucky they did. However, it's not super stable, so if it gets like broken, obviously, or like shaken up at all, it could explode and not work. And that happens a lot. So they get to the Eternal City, and we're gonna start with Lydia and Rune, just to kind of make this a little easier to follow. So Lydia and Rune are going to find her sons. Can't find them. They go to the Mystics that are below the Eternal City, because she figures they're gonna know where they're at. the Mystics take them to the First Light Core, and Vaccine is there, but no sons. Anyway, so on their way down there, Rune can just tell that Lydia is gonna like mess something up because she's just too emotional and too frantic, and so he shoots her in the leg, and she screams, "I'll never forgive you for this." He runs down there, gets his ass beaten basically, and then two angels bring out her sons, and as this is happening, Tharian finds Lydia and gives her the antidote, and she heals up and she has all this power all of a sudden. And so this whole super stressful thing comes down where basically Rune like tries to trade his life for Lydia and her sons, and then Lydia turns into a ball of raging fire and burns Pollux to a crisp. I might have said Baxian, but I meant Pollux. Pollux is the bad guy. Anyways, so she burns Pollux to the crisp, and then she's like, I have to go and save the world, basically. So she's like, Rune, if you keep my kids safe, I'll forgive you and we can be good. And in the process of this, we also find out that Rune and Lydia are mates, which nobody's surprised by because their scent was on each other. But that was just kind of exciting. Anyway, so then Lydia runs and basically melts all of these mech suits while she's running, and then when she thinks she's about to die, a bunch of the ones that were about to kill her catch on fire, and she turns around and the three fire sprites and then the main fire sprite, who's the queen, all are there like catching things on fire. And so the five of them like use their super cool fire energy and like kill a bunch of these mech suits and a bunch of the bad guys. And then while this is happening, Bryce and Hunt are fighting Regulus, and they pretty much burn themselves out on trying to kill him and trying to ruin this First Light Core. And so Bryce teleports her and Hunt away from him, and she's like, I can't. Basically, I think she did it to save his life. I don't know if she knew she was going to sacrifice herself or what exactly was her thought process there, but she got Hunt out of the way, and when they got away, Ethan showed up with this bullet and basically explained to her what it was and what it would do. And so she teleported back and like had the bullet like cocked and ready to go. And the four remaining Asteri at this point, because two of them had been killed off, the four remaining Asteri were staring at her, and they were like, if you destroy this core, Midgard will implode, basically. Like, we made this the kill switch, and if you kill this, everybody and everything that you know will end, and the world will basically be sucked into a black hole. And she pretty much is like, that's a risk I'm willing to take. So she teleports behind them, shoots the core, and then opens up the portal to nowhere with the sword and the knife, and is able to like get the black hole into this black hole, and then her and all the Asteri are sucked into it. And because of the horn, I think she's able to breathe for a little bit longer than everybody else. But Regulus is basically trying to kill her and like get her into the black hole like deeper so she can't escape. And then while this is happening, Hunt like kind of freaks the fuck out because he knows what's happening. And he puts on the mask and uses the Fallen. They kind of offer themselves to him, but like he uses the Fallen to put on a mech suit to go save her and to kill Regulus. And it just was kind of perfect that it was the last shred of Shahar's soul that was helping him to save his wife and his mate. And so they're able to save Bryce, but Bryce is dead. And I was like, there is absolutely no way they're about to kill off the main character right now. Of course they don't. Hypaxia is able to save her by Jessica trading her life for Bryce's, which is really sweet and tender. And then we get a scene of Jessica and Bryce in like the in-between world, and like she can see the pack of devils, like their souls are all still alive, and she really like understands like this is where you're going when you die. And she finds out that because the Underking is dead, she still has a shot at this, like he didn't just take her soul away, which was great. And then she decides to go back to life, and it was just perfect. And then Jessica gave everything that she owned to Bryce, and Bryce and Hunt started up Griffin Antiquities again. And that's kind of where it ended. There was a lot of talk about like the first light, which I think will be a big thing in the fourth book. Like the first light power grid is about to go out, which is like all of their electricity. And I think that that's kind of a cool concept for a book. So I'm excited for the fourth book to see like where that goes. But basically because she destroyed the first light core, that's what powered their city. And so the city only has a little bit of time left before all electronics and all like electricity dies. But the Ocean Queen has been running her ships off of something besides first light. So she's basically gonna try and figure out like how to get that on land, I guess, so that they don't run out of power, because they're all like freaked out about it, but like warranted, because I'd freak out if I didn't have power too. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I loved the ending. I thought that it was fantastic. This book was just, it was a lot happened, a lot didn't happen. I tabbed the shit out of it, and I just thought that it was great, and I really recommend, actually, you probably already read it if you're watching this video, or you're not planning on reading it, which is why you allowed yourself to get spoiled. But I hope you guys have enjoyed reading this book as much as I did. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It did not go the way I planned. I was planning on updating more periodically and giving more updates, but I just kind of sat down and would read a lot, and then I didn't update. So there are all of the spewed things of what happened. I thought that it was really good. I hope that this video wasn't too rambly, because I know that there's a lot of words in this video. But yeah, that being said, I am going to let you guys go. If you've made it to the end of this video, leave the fire emoji down below. And oh my god, wait, one last thing before I fully end this video off. Bryce reopened the portal to Prithian, got her parents back, and Randall and Cassian became friends, and Nesta and Ember like had like this mother-daughter relationship, which was super cute. And it was just, that was like such a good thing. But anyways, Bryce returned the mask and Truth Teller, and she also gave the Star Sword to Nesta and said, I have a feeling that this is calling to you, so do with it what you will. Which means that the next book is probably going to involve something regarding that, which is very good. So yeah, that being said, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Leave the fire emoji down below.